Hey guys, what's up? What's going on, lads? What's goes Cruise Farther. So today it's kind of a different video, and I want to start with apologizing by not uploading. I've been kind of busy. I haven't. The last upload I think was about 2 months ago, which is crazy long time ago. Now this channel is always kind of secondhand to my first channel, and I upload whenever I get a chance. But I haven't been really consistent on that channel either. Been kind of hectic in recently. I had finals. Finals went well. I did really well in my classes, but that was like super busy. I was also working like almost full time. And then I ended up going for a 2 week vacation. And then I came back this last almost I almost have 2 weeks back actually. And I just been working like crazy. Like full time basically. I think I'm like an hour away from 40 hours this week. So I've been kind of busy. But today I want to talk about this set right here. Now it's not a review, and I kind of want to explain myself, and it's been talked about a lot, right? And it's the controversy behind the Captain Rex. Now, a lot of things are interesting about this character, right? Number one, he's probably the most beloved Clone Wars character, period. He's like the most famous clone. Probably, arguably, maybe Cody's more because he at least appeared in the action movies. But for most diehard fans, he's most people's favorites. He's the most well known. He's one of the most well developed. And in Lego, he hasn't been a clone that's been made a ton. Now, he has been made a pretty decent amount. There's his Phase 1 version and his Phase 2 version. But we haven't got a Captain Rex in a very long time, right? And all the ways you could get one is crazy expensive. I think the cheapest one was like even like $100, I think. That was at least, in the last year or so. I'm sorry if I look kind of weird. I literally just came back from work and I just received this package. And it got pretty cool because one set was announced, and that was that set right there, the UCS Vetinor. Sorry, I can't say that word. I really try, but I can't. For some reason, it's one of my favorite ships in Star Wars, but for some reason I can't. And I've always really wanted a Star Destroyer of some type, and I've always wanted the UCS, just the regular Star Destroyer, like a big capital ship. But it's $700. It's like an extra $100 above this one. And this one seemed like a smaller version, one that I can fit somewhere, and one that was more affordable. And it had a big plus: the first Captain Rex we've seen in a very long time. Now, I've always wanted a Captain Rex since I started recollecting Legos a lot more in the last couple years, and I haven't got my hands on one. One of the reasons is that I do not collect figures in a certain way. I do not buy figures out for just buying them. Now, I like Anakin. I like an Obi-Wan. I like having a bunch of different types of Jedi in my collection. But I wouldn't go out and purchase a figure for $60, $70. And for sure not for $100 to $200, which some other Rex went for. So I could never see myself spending that type of money, right? And this gave me an opportunity to purchase one. Now, the problem is that it was linked to a $650 set. Now, fans were excited because we got a Rex for the first time in such a long time. But it sucked because it was behind a paywall of $650. Now, you're not paying just for the figure. You're paying for an amazing set. It's huge. Now, this doesn't do it justice, but it is massive. And the reason it's kind of tilted that way is because it won't fit. It's really wide. It's pretty wide, actually, in the wing section. And it's a beautiful set. Yeah. And I made sacrifices to actually purchase that set. Now, yes, I do own a lot of really cool sets, expensive sets that I've spent. Sorry if I'm spitting. I mean, I'm not spitting at you. It's not like you're here, but still, I spent a lot of money in sets, right? And I've never really crossed a certain threshold. Now, most of my sets when I was a kid were small. I never owned any huge sets. None of my sets were very large, over $100. But as I got older, as I got an adult, I was interested in more of the adult sets, more expensive sets that I could never buy as a kid. The Assembly Square is, till this day, one of the biggest sets that I own. It's back there, and I got it used for $100. Great price, because it's like a $300 set. I think retail price, I think, is about $300. You can find it for way cheaper for that, but I got it for $100. Great deal. I think it was missing like 3 pieces. But it's a set that was, at the point, was the biggest set I've ever purchased my entire life. I mean, it's a massive set. It's a big set. For most kids, having a set like that would be like the biggest flex ever, right? And I always like to keep my perspective in the way of the average Lego fan. Not the YouTubers or the TikTok guys that we see who have entire rooms with Lego. Even though I'm decently close, but this is my own personal room. I just have Legos set up everywhere because that's how much I like it. But I'm not even I'm an adult. I'm 21 years old, but I don't have a full-time job. I'm in college. I have a part-time job that doesn't pay the best, really. I don't make crazy money. I really don't. And most of my money goes into like food or gas for my car or college, because I pay for a portion of my college. Like a big portion is a lot for someone like me, right? And sure, I spend some money on Legos and Pokemon cards, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that because I don't pay things like rent or stuff like that, or my phone bill, because my parents pay for it as long as I stay in school. But I'm fortunate, and I pushed the boundary of how much I've been willing to spend on Lego sets. Sneak peek at one of my custom module buildings, but I kept pushing the amount I could spend on Lego sets. I bought the Lego Blacksmith, which was like a $170 set, which is, I think at the time, was one of my most expensive sets I've ever purchased, which for me was a lot of money. Again, I wasn't used to spending that much money on Legos. Then I kind of kept pushing it. The bookstore cost me about $200. The Emporium cost me about $350. To be fair, these are used sets because they're retired. The Daily Bugle was, I think, $350. The bookstore was, I think I got that one decently cheap, actually, for about less than $200. I think it was like $170 or something like that. So again, but they're all around one price point. I never really pushed the $350 mark until I ended up saving up, because I knew I wanted this set, and it was the castle. Now, I used to keep the castle here, but I moved this set here instead, and I have the castle downstairs. I am also planning on doing more videos and more stuff, more reviews and more stuff. Like, I haven't even reviewed this set. I haven't reviewed, I think, like, one of these sets. I'm not done with this, so I don't want to do a review on my MOC yet. I'm working on an entire diorama, which I want to kind of start showing you guys the process of that, how that's going. And I also want to give you guys kind of a tour of everything I own. So all that stuff is coming in the future. Just gotta give me some time, gotta be patient with me, and I'm gonna try to push myself to actually record the videos and post them for you guys. But yeah, so, and I finally ended up purchasing a $400 set. It was in a crazy expensive set, and it was the biggest set by piece count, by price point, by a long shot. I think technically both of these sets, I'm pretty sure I bought this one after. So I wasn't very used to spending that much money. Now this is a $650 set. Never, I always told myself, even if I got tons of money, spending over $500 on a single set is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot push myself to do it. As much as I would want a set, as much as I'd like to, putting that much money is so much for me. $500 is so much money for me as someone who doesn't make a crazy amount, because again, I'm more worried with school and other stuff, that it was a ridiculous amount of money. And never thought I'd do it. But I got released. I really wanted it. It had a Rex, and I thought, okay, it's a cheaper version than I think with the $700 one. It comes with arguably one of my favorite characters in Star Wars of all time as Captain Rex, maybe I would do it. And I ended up selling, if you guys know, follow my Pokemon channel, I ended up selling my Umbreon VMAX alt art from, what is it called? It's not Roaring Skies. Is it Roaring Skies? Something Skies. I can't remember the fucking name of the set. But I ended up selling the card for about $550. And that's what actually funded the actual set. I paid, again, whatever else. I think it was like another $150 plus, like, it's like 100 plus taxes and whatever, for the set. So I gave up something else that I owned that didn't cost me that much, that I got lucky with. It was actually, so I ended up selling something that I really wanted to keep, but I was willing to sacrifice to buy that set. And I know I feel like I'm backtracking, but I'm giving a lot of this explanation so you guys understand my point of view, and this is important. And yeah, and I got it. And let me tell you, I love the set. I love how it looks. It's the reason why I moved it to my room, because I wanted it in my room so bad. And it barely fits in here. I have some other sets. Let me know if you guys can catch all the Lego sets that are in here. If you guys can, you're cool. I don't know. But yeah, it was cool. And I bought it, and I you know, it took me a long time to build. It was a kind of a painful building experience. I've never built a UCS set, and I've heard all about it. They suck to build because there's so much tech behind it. Something that I've never experienced. Now I've built slightly annoying sets, repetitive builds, hard techniques for adults that are pretty annoying. But the biggest set I had built at the time was, again, the castle. And to be fair, that castle set, in my opinion, is the reason why it's my favorite set. Is the price point to what it gives you is crazy. It's got so much playability. The minifigures, the building techniques are crazy good, and I'm telling you, it's easier to build than any of the modular buildings that I've built. Now, to be fair, some of the modular buildings are older, so they're not as nicely built. Their techniques are a little weird and funky, and the instructions aren't the best. But this was a kind of a pain to build. Sometimes it felt like I was really losing my mind because, like, I wasn't used to it. But I'm happy I got it. Right, and I displayed it downstairs in the basement. And I was very happy with it. Now, the problem is that a lot of people were unhappy the fact that the only way they could get a brand new Rex was through such an expensive figure. Now, soon after, a couple months afterwards, something was announced, and it was this set right here. It was leaked. But it's important, if you guys actually own this set, and what people were saying is that the figures were going to be exclusive to that set. I knew that. I knew that for a fact. If you go to the instruction books, and I've checked this, it physically says that it doesn't say both, it says figures, there's only 2 figures in the entire sets, are exclusive to that set. So it was stated by Lego, by, I guess, the actual instructions themselves, that the figures were exclusive to that set. Again, people were upset because the only way you could buy a Rex is that way. Paying $200 for somebody who bought the set and doesn't care about the Rex. Buy the entire set for like $650, and it just wasn't worth it for a lot of people, and they wish they could have gotten a cheaper set. And I totally get that sentiment, because for a lot of people like me, I don't buy those sets. It's the only UCS set I own, and it probably will be the only UCS set I own for a very long time. So I get it. Like, you want to have those figures, and you're unwilling to spend that much money because you're not the craziest collector. You don't have that type of money, and it sucks. It really, really does. And but in return, for people who did purchase it, and I'm not talking about, those huge TikTok people, those people who got crazy money, they can complain all they want, but for them, it's not like, in my opinion, they don't lose that much. They buy every Star Wars set that comes out. They review all of them. Take for me, for example, I sacrificed a lot to buy that set. Like, a crazy amount. No, I'm not saying that they don't sacrifice stuff, but there's a difference, right? So yeah. And So I felt a little iffy about it because maybe I wouldn't have sacrificed that much to buy that set if I knew it was gonna come out in a what, like $15 set or something. And I felt iffy about it. I felt happy. I think if I was trying to be subjective about it, I felt happy for others to purchase the set. And at first, these sets get leaked like an hour in advance, and I mean an hour. I mean like a year in advance, and people knew it was coming. It was speculated it was gonna be a Captain Rex. It wasn't for sure gonna be the exact same one. Eventually, I think a couple months later, it got leaked that it was going to be the same one. Eventually, images came out, and of course now it's released and whatever. And I'm happy. I'm happy that this set is going to be cheap, easily available for everybody. Now it's kind of sold out like crazy, and I know it's been like reselling like crazy fast. And that's a whole different topic with people. I know this is a big issue. People buying these sets and selling them for crazy amounts. And I know it was a huge issue for the Pokemon community. I struggle with it a lot. But yeah, it sucked for a lot of reasons, right? And it was really nice that this set was going to be a thing. But I felt betrayed. And I understand for all the people who felt betrayed because they were told by the Lego themselves that it wasn't going to be released again. And we see it all the time. We see it with so many UCS sets where, yeah, sure, there's a billion Boba Fett's, but there's a specific Boba Fett that's exclusive to a set. Mandalorian's another great example. There's a bunch of Mandalorian sets. You can find an easily accessible Mandalorian for a set this price. Now, if you want the nicest, best version of a certain Boba Fett, you have to buy the UCS version. And I think that's the best way they do stuff. I think they kind of messed it up with this set. Because I'm somebody who, once again, I want a cheap Rex, but I also did push myself to buy the big version. Now, a lot of my opinions changed kind of soon afterwards. I built this set, I owned it for about 3 months, and I have to explain this, I guess, in the best way possible. In this, I don't blame anybody entirely, and it's a little bit my own fault. So I usually keep I keep most of my Legos in the basement. Again, I will be doing a tour and everything eventually. And I kept that set downstairs on a table. And it comes with a plaque and it comes with a figure, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's another figure missing. It's Rex. So I'll explain this to you guys. Now, I had that set downstairs and it's out in the open. It's on a single table with nothing on it but that stuff. And a family came over. It complicated their family friends, and they stayed here for I don't know, about 2 weeks, I think, a little bit longer, maybe that. And they had kids, and I get it. Kids will play with toys. As a kid, I loved Legos, and it's nothing more than if I saw Legos, I would want to play with them as much as possible. And because I know that, I try being nice. The mother understood as well that some of the stuff is collectible and some of the stuff is okay to play with. I made a specific huge bin with figures, parts for the kid to play with. Totally allowed to do whatever you wanted with them. I gave actually a bunch of figures for free to the mother and the child. I had an entire other big bucket of non-Lego related. It was I think it was Mega Bloks and a bunch of other fake blocks. Totally fine for him to play with. And I asked very nicely, if anything, please be careful with it. Now it happens. Kids will be kids. You can't watch kids 24/7. To be fair, whenever the kids were home, both parents were home. Whenever the kids went to do things, the kids went with them. So the kids were with their parents basically 24/7. But I get it. Kids will be kids. You can't keep an eye on your child for 24/7. And I do not own children because I'm only 21. But I work with kids and I know how fast their mind changes and how hard it is for them to listen to directions and all that, right? I don't judge like that. And it happened. He played with a bunch of the other toys. And it's fine. It is what it is, right? As long as you don't damage anything, you don't lose anything, it's fine. Sometimes it meant that a set slightly got damaged, or he moved a figure somewhere for a bunch of the stuff that I didn't want him to be touching, but it was okay, it was fine. But the figure was lost. And of course, out of all the figures that I cared about, it was that figure. It was Captain Rex, a 200, and at that point, at that price point, it was about $200. And I didn't know what to do. We tried looking for it. We asked the kid, the mother asked the kid, the mother felt really bad. And I was really upset, right? And it sucks because I don't want to be upset at the kid. It's just a child. He doesn't know better. He's like, I think he was like 6 years old. How do you get mad at that, you know? And at the same time, you want to be mad at the parents, but you understand because a kid's gonna be a kid. And at the end of the day, it is technically a toy. I did technically leave it unattended, so I could also see it as my own fault. And I was so upset about it. I didn't know what to do. More of the story, I could never find a figure. And until this day, I never have. And I felt so shitty about it because one of the biggest reasons I spent so much money, I sacrificed one of my favorite Pokemon cards, was for that figure. Finally got my hands on one, and I could not spend $200 to buy another one. Now, I could have maybe bought an unethical one. I know the Mexico factory has had a lot of issues, specifically with that figure. It was crazy sold out to people. For it, like, basically illegally, without its Podrin. That's why on eBay you would see a lot of them for a lot cheaper, for like $70 without the Podrin. But I felt like that was shitty. Like, it was people who were, again, I do not believe in scalpers whatsoever. I get flippers, I get investors in collectibles. I own a lot of stuff. I own a lot of Lego that I resell. I have a whole Brickling store about it. Everything I purchase in that is ethically gotten. I don't spend thousands of dollars on a brand new set that I knew I'm gonna easily flip. I buy used products that I sort through, spend time and effort cleaning, and then sell items that I don't want in my collection. I sell gift of purchase sets that I get from actually purchasing items that I personally want, and I don't want the other items, so I sell them. I don't buy hundreds or any of those, like 100 set of a single set and then resell them all because I think that's shitty, right? I think Lego has been pretty good about it. I think they're pretty solid about it. Walmart has gotten a lot better with it. I know it was a huge issue. I know Pokemon had like the worst issue with that, and I experienced it at the worst. I started recollecting Pokemon when it was cheap, when it was on sale all the time, to the point that it was impossible to buy Pokemon cards anywhere. You would have to go on a certain day, at a certain time when they restocked, and unfortunately, I could barely even drive myself at the time, so it's not like I could really do that. I wasn't an adult. I think I was like 17 years old at that point, or 18. I think I got to the point I was about 18 years old when that was still an issue, and it sucked. I remember sometimes I was able to do it, and I was able to be there, and it was one item or two items that you were allowed to purchase, and it was a line of people, and it sucked. And a lot of the reason was because people sucked, and it ruined the fun out of normal people, right? Out of regular fans. And I think that's what matters. For me, one of the biggest reasons I started either this channel and especially my main channel is to show my love for my hobby that I've liked ever since I was a kid, because both Lego and Pokemon I've been collecting since I was like, I don't know, like as long as I lived in the United States. So like about since I was like 6 years old. So, I want to share this with other people, either because I know I lived a lot of my hobbies through other people because I couldn't afford them myself. I watch a bunch of openings, I watch a bunch of reviews. So I think it's cool that I can show that to other people. I also do giveaways, and specifically my main channel. I've given so much stuff away, and it's so cool. I run amazing messages from either kids or teenagers who are just happy to receive a stack of Pokemon cards, and or parents being like, hey, like I thought my kid was being weird, and I was a little uncomfortable first, but thank you. You're just a small time creator who clearly cares, and now my kid has something to play with. I've been struggling with stuff, and I try to do it as much as possible. I haven't done it on this channel because I have nowhere near as much as support. And to be fair, I haven't done it in a while because I haven't been as active as on my social medias and stuff. So I get it. So then I heard that this exact set was coming out. I don't know what, $15 a set cost. Expensive, by the way. And my idea kind of changed, right? Now I'm able to get a set that a figure that I want to replace a figure that I lost for like $15. And that I could physically say, sure, that's cool, that's fine. So I don't know. It's something that I'm so torn between. I'm in both sides because I'm both somebody who really wanted a cheap version of a Rex, mostly because I purchased a big one, lost the actual figure, and the only way I could buy a figure to complete the set that I originally bought was to spend like $100 something, at least $100 to buy that figure. So I understand what it feels like for somebody who physically cannot spend the money and wants a figure so badly and just could not get their hands on it. And at the exact same time, at another point, spent the crazy $650, got told by Lego themselves, and I have that in writing in the actual instructions, that this figure was going to be exclusive to that set. It sucks. I'm not the biggest Lego critique. I get it. I'm somebody who understands to bash on Lego as much as possible. I'm a business major, and one of my big things is that I hate big companies, and I understand how they work. I understand that they do not care about you, they care about profits. And a lot of times they care about investors. Lego's a private company, so they don't really care about investors. They care about how much money they make. Now, I think Lego's a really good company for who they are. I don't think they're saints. One of their biggest issues is their sustainability issues. I know that's something they want to change. But one of the big things you learn about in business is that the reason why any of these companies care about looking good, caring about their sustainability, isn't because they actually care. It's because it's profitable to look like you care. And I think Lego, for the most part, cares. I think they have a lot of ways they do things is, sure, they do it because they want to keep a great public image, and they do it extremely well. They push their rhetoric about, their sustainability crazy amount. They've been purchasing, the way that they release products, the way they do gift of purchase, the way they have their whole loyalty program, which is free to join, is great for the average person. They do giveaways on their websites. I think overall they're a company that, for the most part, is good, but they're greedy at the exact same time. And I get the critique of, I get it. It's, at the end of the day, it's a kid's toy, mostly. That is not a kid's toy. That is meant for adults. It is a collector's item. It is an expensive thing. Kids aren't buying this. Adults are. It is a premium product. So every time I'm going to defend Lego when somebody looks at an item like this and says it is not movie accurate. It sucks. I cannot stand, to be fair, a lot of times it's Star Wars fans. I can't stand fans like that. But I will also not be a glazer and glaze Lego and preach and say how amazing they are about everything they do, because I do not like when some of their parts are miscolored. I'm sorry, but if I'm paying a premium price for a premium product, which is everything Lego releases, because even their smallest sets are crazy expensive. I'm sorry, but this is a crazy expensive toy. I get it. There's so much behind it. The licensing, the production of it, the playability of it. I think there's a decently priced item. I think it's a little over expensive. But most of the time I don't complain about set prices too crazy amounts. But when they directly lie to you, I cannot get behind it. It annoys the crap out of me. I think if they honestly, I would have been totally fine if they would have been more mediocre about the wording. A lot of times they get away with the wording of things. They don't ever say they're exclusive to the set. They might say some of the figures might be exclusive or kind of exclusive, or it's a little complicated, but they specifically said that both the figures were going to be exclusive to the set. So they lied. They directly lied about it. And it sucks. But let me know what you guys think. I know this isn't a normal video, and I know it's half an hour of me just yapping and talking for a long time. But I really want to know what you guys think. You know, this is a great set. I'm happy it's out there. I'm happy that this figure is easily gettable. Hell, even for me, because I'm going to get this figure and place it over there from the one that I lost. But I also did purchase that massive set. And I was happy that set, you know, and I was told by the LEGO themselves that both the figures were exclusive. Now they're not. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you guys purchase that set? Are you guys going to purchase this set eventually? I know this set is a little hard to find out right now. It's sold out. I technically bought this on back order. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with what LEGO has done? I think it's fine the way they did it. I mean, it's fine what they did, just not the way they did it. Do you think they should have done it more like a lot of the other figures are done, where the figure is slightly different, like the print slightly different, so that would have changed things? Or what do you actually think of the figure itself? Is it better than the old original, or is the new one better? I will not get into that because that's a whole other 20-minute conversation, because I don't care that much, right? I just wanted a Rex that was good. I think the figure is a good figure, and I liked it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Did you guys purchase this set? Did you purchase that set? Did you purchase both sets? Did you purchase neither one because you don't like the figure? What's your opinion? Do you think LEGO lied directly? Do you think it's kind of that's what you get? Because again, a lot of people, I think I have heard a lot of people say that that's what you get to the people who buy big sets. But I think this is from a perspective from somebody who's only $650 set is that one. The most expensive after that is the medieval one, and then the next one after that is like the Daily Bugle. So again, most of my sets are much under that set. Let me know what you guys think. I will have more videos up in the future. I will do a review on this set with the actual figure. I will do a review on that set. I haven't been able to do a review because I lost the figure and I couldn't really do a review on it. I knew eventually this set was going to come out, so I was going to wait for it, and now I'm going to do a review on that set. And I will do a review on that set. I will do a review on a bunch of sets that I have built. I am doing some projects on the side. One of them is the big MOC. I have 2 MOCs that I kind of started working on, and I'll kind of show some of you guys stuff. I have MOCs that I'm basically almost done with. I just need to switch things up and finish them up. A big thing is time and money. I need money to finish MOCs, to work on them, and money's a little short for me right now. I was able to purchase this thankfully, but yeah, a lot of things working behind the scenes. I recently I owe my friend a lot of money. I purchased a lot of his sealed stuff, and yeah. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm sorry for the extremely long video. I wanted to kind of keep this unedited, simple, to kind of get my thoughts out on the situation. I know a ton of people have already talked about this. I just want to give you guys my perspective, and I think my perspective's different because I'm neither the smallest person who doesn't buy any set that's over $100, but I'm also not the huge creator that has an entire house filled with over $150,000, you know, amounts worth of Lego and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys.